Hi, I'm Olympia, your virtual assistant on the subject related to the keto diet. I am here to convey to you, through this small video, information about this profound topic. Let's start then. Do you know, the ketogenic diet is often considered a difficult regimen to follow. However, with practice and understanding of what the diet is intended to achieve, it can be reduced to a manageable routine. The basic goal is to shift the body's main fuel source from carbohydrates, such as bread and sugar, to fats. This is done by increasing fat intake and greatly reducing carbohydrate intake. The real difficulty is that the diet is so restrictive that all food eaten must be weighed to the nearest tenth of a gram during meal preparation, and a participant cannot eat anything that is not prescribed by the dietitian. The allowable level of carbohydrates is very low, so even the small amount of sugar in most liquid or chewable medications will prevent the diet from working. For example, a typical meal might include some type of meat with green vegetables cooked with a mayonnaise sauce or lots of butter. You can include milk on the side to drink. Another meal might consist of bacon and eggs with lots of butter or oil added and heavy cream to drink. For the diet to be successful, a very high ratio of fats to carbohydrates must be maintained with a low total calorie intake. But isn't fat bad for you? Fats have been the subject of a lot of bad press in recent years. Plus, many healthy foods are advertised as being low in fat. After all, cholesterol kills, right? Reality is much more complex. It's true that too much fat can lead to arteriosclerosis, clogging of blood vessels, which can lead to heart attacks or strokes, but fats also play an important role in nutritional health. Even cholesterol in controlled amounts is necessary and not as bad as people have been taught. The role of fats and their dietary importance is discussed in detail in the Understanding the Ketogenic Diet section. For now, rest assured that the high fat content of the ketogenic diet has not been proven to be harmful. Historical perspective. The ketogenic diet is not a new treatment. Throughout history, it has been recognized that if a person with epilepsy, for example, stops eating or fasts, their seizures generally stop. The first scientific study on fasting for the treatment of epilepsy was conducted in France in 1910. This study reported that seizures ceased during absolute fasting. Later, other researchers also noted the cessation of seizures and improvement of mental activity during starvation, although a person cannot fast indefinitely. Therefore, in 1921, Dr. Wilder, at the Mayo Clinic, attempted to use a ketogenic diet to treat patients with epilepsy and in patients seeking to improve their metabolism. He had been using this same diet to prolong ketosis in diabetic patients. Around the same time, Doctors Howland and Gamble of the Johns Hopkins Department of Pediatrics observed that a water-based diet, which also involved starvation for 3 or 4 weeks, reduced seizures. Other researchers such as Dr. Lennox and Dr. Cobb at Harvard University also began studying the ketogenic diet. Towards the end of the 1980s, interest in the diet was revived by Dr. John Freeman of Johns Hopkins, who reported a study in 1992 showing that the diet produced complete seizure control in 30% of people with previously uncontrolled seizures. One of the people successfully treated by the Johns Hopkins team was Charlie Abrahams. In gratitude, his parents have created the Charlie Foundation, which has widely publicized the diet, in part by making a free videotape available. How does the ketogenic diet work? The foods we eat provide the fuel our body uses for daily activities and the materials needed to help the body grow. Unlike cars that only run on gasoline, the body is designed to use 3 main fuels, including carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. Carbohydrates are the main component of sugars, starch, and flour, which come mainly from plants. Fats are divided into 2 broad types: saturated fats, like butter, which mostly come from animals, and unsaturated fats, like corn oil, which mostly come from plants. Finally, protein comes mainly from animals and is represented by meat and fish. The above is a broad generalization, and there are many variations, such as nuts containing more than 50% fat. Carbohydrates, Fats and proteins undergo the same type of chemical reaction with the oxygen we breathe to produce energy for the body and waste products, including carbon dioxide and water. This is the same reaction seen when a car engine burns gasoline, or when wood or coal is burned for heat, etc. Although the body's three fuels are metabolized in the same way, carbohydrates are used preferentially, followed by fats and then proteins. Carbohydrates are preferentially used because they are generally readily available to most people and can be quickly metabolized by the body for energy. Athletes often eat some type of carbohydrate-rich snack before a sporting event to provide additional energy. Carbohydrates are usually used up within a few hours of eating them, which is one of the reasons we eat so frequently. Unused carbohydrates are stored in the liver as glycogen or converted to fat. On the contrary, the main function of fats is to store energy. Animals gain weight to prepare for winter. The body normally stores the fats we eat, but if there are not enough carbohydrates available, the body will break down fat stores to use as fuel. Fats are metabolized much more slowly, and it usually takes about a day to use up the fat content of a meal. This is why people feel fuller after a high-fat meal than a low-carb meal. The third fuel, protein, is used primarily to build and replenish body materials. Any excess protein is metabolized as fuel or excreted. If carbohydrate and fat stores are depleted, the body will begin to break down muscle to metabolize protein for fuel. The ketogenic diet mimics a state of starvation or fasting by denying the body the carbohydrates it needs to function normally and forcing it to metabolize fat. As fat is metabolized, ketone bodies are produced. It is the production of ketone bodies that appears to play a central role in the success of the ketogenic diet. When the body begins to produce ketone bodies, the body is said to be in ketosis. It usually takes 3 to 5 days for the body to enter ketosis after starting the diet. Ketosis is easily recognized because ketones can be detected in the urine and can be recognized by the characteristic odor of the individual's breath. The prophylactic properties of the ketogenic diet build up over time, and it may take several weeks before the full effect of the ketogenic diet is achieved. Who can use the diet? The diet has primarily been used for people between the ages of 1 and 6, in adolescents and adults, but is more difficult to maintain in older age groups due to social factors and the tendency to cheat. The review of the medical literature, 1276 patients in total from multiple studies, suggests that 49.5% of patients will have a greater than 90% reduction in the problems they present. 27% will have a reduction of more than 50% in seizures, and the rest will have a reduction of less than 50%. These results are surprisingly good given two important factors. 1. Compared to taking medications, the ketogenic diet is much more difficult to maintain. 2. Diet is a powerful resource in patients for whom other medical proposals that seek to improve the patient's condition have practically not worked. According to the medical literature, individuals with generalized primary state types tend to respond better than those with complex partial states with or without secondary generalization. What can a person who follows the ketogenic diet eat? The ketogenic diet is a precisely prescribed diet. The classic ketogenic diet is calculated at a ratio of 4 to 1, meaning it contains 4 times more fat by weight than carbohydrates and protein combined. It is important to know that 1 gram of fat produces more than twice as many calories as 1 gram of carbohydrates or protein. Therefore, the amount of food prepared for each meal of the ketogenic diet is a much smaller volume than that of a normal meal. Additionally, total calorie intake is restricted to about 3/4 of normal, making the volume seem even smaller. The number of calories and the ratio of fat, protein and carbohydrates for each meal are calculated on a case-by-case basis. Calculations for each day's meals are based on the participant's diet. The ketogenic diet alone is deficient in vitamins and calcium. Participants, with few exceptions, are prescribed a calcium and vitamin supplement to take for as long as they remain on the ketogenic diet. How does a person get started on the ketogenic diet? The diet usually begins with a 3 to 5 day treatment. On the first day, We ask the participant to skip breakfast and start the day 1 eggnog or formula ketogenic diet. Eggnog on day 1 represents 1/3 of the recommended fat calorie intake. On day 2, the individual will be given eggnog with 2/3 of the intended fat calorie intake. On day 2, participants' parents, guardians, or direct care staff members will be taught how to prepare a regular keto meal, which the participant will eat for lunch if they are managing the diet well up to that point. For G-tube-fed individuals, parents, guardians, or direct care staff members will be taught how to mix the ketogenic diet formula. On the morning of day 3, the participant must receive the full ketogenic diet meal or formula, which will remain for the 2 years. If they continue to improve, they are discharged around lunchtime. The participant's blood sugar level is monitored every 6 hours to detect hypoglycemia and treat if indicated. We anticipate that as the body's carbohydrate stores are depleted, the blood sugar level will drop to around 40. At this point, the body's fat stores begin to be metabolized and blood sugar levels return to the normal range. Additionally, each time the participant urinates, we check for the presence of ketones in the urine and check the specific gravity. Specific gravity tells us how concentrated the urine is and is a good indicator of whether the participant is becoming dehydrated. In some people, the high fat content of meals can cause nausea and refusal to eat or drink. This can become a bad situation as the individual becomes ketotic, and subsequent ketosis can make the nausea even worse. The participant is then placed on 4-port, so that if the individual begins to show evidence of dehydration, we can intervene before he gets sick. Once the ketogenic diet is started, how long does it take to take effect? The effectiveness of the ketogenic diet varies from person to person. In some, the response is immediate once ketosis develops. In others, the full effect may not be seen until 3 months later. In most people, we can predict after a month whether the diet will be helpful or not. How long will the person stay on the diet? The participant remains on the full ketogenic diet prescription for 2 years. During the 3rd year, the dietary proportion is gradually changed to a normal diet. When are medications stopped? In the studies conducted, we ask participants to check themselves quarterly to evaluate their condition, perform blood tests, and remonitor their weight. We speak with the participant, family, or direct care staff if they have any specific questions. The participant, family, or guardians may request interruption of the diet at any time during the course of treatment. Does the ketogenic diet have any side effects? Side effects of the ketogenic diet include 1. Constipation. This is seen in almost everyone who starts the diet. There are simple ways to combat the problem, so it has never been a reason to stop the diet. 2. Hypoglycemia. This can be a problem in independent and active people. All these matters must be under continuous and adequate control. The family is trained about the symptoms of hypoglycemia and what to do if the person is suspected of having hypoglycemia. If the person experiences hypoglycemia frequently, the dietitian should be contacted to adjust the diet. 3. Hypercholesterolemia. The diet is very rich in fat and, in some people, they cannot metabolize fat efficiently and their lipid levels, cholesterol and triglycerides, increase. A mineral supplement is recommended or attempts are made to adjust menus to reduce serum lipid levels. If lipid levels do not return to an acceptable level, the diet is discontinued. To correct it. 4. Hyperacidosis. In some people, if they become affected or become too active, this causes dehydration, their ketones can become too high. In this situation, they may feel nauseous and refuse to eat. They may have some associated vomiting. Treatment would involve rehydration. If the problem is recurring, the diet may need to be adjusted. 5. Osteoporosis. Diet is known to cause osteoporosis. All people starting the diet are expected to take a vitamin and calcium supplement to lessen the severity of this situation. 6. Kidney stones. Many ketogenic diet programs across the country restrict fluid intake for their participants. We have chosen not to restrict fluids and have rarely experienced problems with participants developing kidney stones. However, if a person begins to complain of severe back pain, difficulty urinating, or blood in the urine, this should be considered. It is recommended to be attentive to what is occurring and closely monitor the changes that occur. Go presenting. I wanted to show you and talk to you about the ketogenic generalities. As you can see, it is highly recommended. Remember that in the process you must have adequate control so that the results are always for the benefit of your health, which in the end is your goal. Before finishing this brief presentation and thinking about how to achieve everything you propose with your ketogenic diet project, I present to you a product that will help prepare your body for all your activities related to the ketogenic diet. The name of this product is Keto Healthiness Cleanse. Keto Healthiness Cleanse is the product that prepares your body to lose weight. Keto Healthiness Cleanse doesn't let trapped waste and toxins stop your dietary goals. Why is this revolutionary product Keto Healthiness Cleanse generating so much buzz? Life in the 21st century is not easy on the stomach and digestive tract. Food additives, artificial preservatives, food coloring, and dubious food preparation procedures have left the standard person with a diet that causes bloating, diarrhea, constipation, cramps, and other similar effects. And even when people start a new, healthier eating plan that consists of a natural, low-carbohydrate, high-protein diet based on fresh vegetables and legumes, they find that these problems persist. And even worse, people who are specifically trying to lose weight get stuck, barely moving the needle on the scale, and become discouraged in the process. Sounds familiar? Your standard processed diet, environment, and even the chair you're currently sitting in may have contributed to pounds of waste and toxins becoming trapped and preventing you from achieving your goals. Why Keto Healthiness Cleanse works so well for everyone? Well, because it gently eliminates waste and toxins trapped in the digestive tract. And it allows your renewed intestines to fully absorb all the nutrients from the foods you eat. When the intestine does not function at full capacity, everything is more difficult. The intestine is where most of the food we eat is broken down and used for the energy we need to function. Think of the gut like the fuel line on a car. Now consider what would happen if that fuel line started to corrode or had sticky deposits blocking its insides. There wouldn't be enough fuel to get where you want to go. This is clearly a problem. And because the gut is underperforming and not providing enough nutrients to fuel the body properly, it triggers a response in the brain that further increases hunger levels to eat food. This further aggravates the problem and you enter a vicious circle. Breaking the cycle is necessary to restore balance and prepare the inside for fresh nutrition. By taking Keto Healthiness Cleanse, you break the response cycle and prepare your body for the change. After taking your first 2 cleansing capsules with 8 ounces of water and all natural herbal ingredients, Keto Healthiness Cleanse will begin to work within you, restoring balance and cleansing the waste and toxins that have prevented the proper use of your food. From day 1 to day 3, you may notice bubbling or gurgling in your lower abdomen as the natural ingredients begin to slowly absorb toxins and soften and loosen trapped waste. From day 4 to 5th, it is the elimination period in which a certain darkening of the stool may occur as waste and toxins are expelled. You may experience an initial weight loss of 4 to 8 pounds. From day 5 to 7th, it is the conditioning period where your newly activated intestines can begin to reactivate the nutrient absorption and distribution process. If at any time you have felt limited when trying to lose weight, or if you've experienced bloating, diarrhea, gas, constipation, or cramps, you must try Keto Healthiness Cleanse today. Keto Healthiness Cleanse is the dietary supplement that is crushing its competition and has an advanced intestinal cleansing formula, with strength and deep internal cleansing while vacuuming and absorbing harmful toxins. The creators have scientifically developed a natural, balanced formula to loosen and absorb trapped dangerous waste, leaving you feeling fresh, energized and ready to take on any challenge. Keto Healthiness Cleanse contains oat bran, fennel seed, cascara sagrada bark, buckthorn bark, pumpkin seed, cayenne pepper, licorice root, rhubarb, acai berry, senna, and plum juice. This all-natural formula specifically targets problem areas that cause bloating, constipation, stalled weight loss, gas, lethargy, and a bloated abdomen, among other ailments. The creators recommend using Keto Healthiness Cleanse along with a ketogenic lifestyle to help you lose weight and feel amazing. Keto Healthiness Cleanse helps prepare your intestines for maximum nutrient absorption. This is essential when starting a new eating plan, a new workout, or trying to lose weight. Eat keto-friendly. Keto Healthiness Cleanse pairs very well with the ketogenic lifestyle. Keto Healthiness Cleanse, a daily supplement that helps you quickly enter ketosis to burn fat. It is important to note that Keto Healthiness Cleanse is not intended to replace professional medical advice or treatment, but rather is a complement to it. If you are interested in Keto Gelatin's Cleanse and want to know more, below is the link where you can access more information.